All right. Hi, everyone. My name is Arlene Sibyl, and I'm part of the Davidson Institute team, and I'm your host for today. We're excited to be here with you this morning. Before we dive into this Davidson Family Retreat information session, I wanted to go over a few housekeeping points so you have an idea of what to expect in this session. So this session is intended to run for 60 minutes. The session will include a presentation and be followed by a Q&A. We'll do our best to address as many questions as we can in the time allotted. We'd like to point out that this is in a Zoom webinar setting and it is designed so staff can share their video, audio, and screen, but attendees are in view-only mode. Please note that the chat feature of Zoom has been enabled, and we do ask that you please direct all of your questions to the Q&A feature of Zoom. Please stay through to the end of the session. You'll then be directed to our post-event survey to help us gather feedback on your experience. And of course, a recording of this live webinar will be available on the Davidson Gifted website within a week. And so now, diving right into the session, I'm pleased to introduce you to Kayla Latin, our manager of events here at the Davidson Institute. I'll hand the presentation to you now, Kayla.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Arlene. Let me just get my screen shared for you guys. All right. Welcome, everyone. I'm so excited to share more about the Davidson Family Retreat this morning, and just wanted to note registration is open. So if you weren't aware or are curious, just wanted to note that we're excited to jump in though and share more about this exciting event. If you missed it, Arlene just mentioned that this is going to be recorded, so we'll post that. It'll be about 60 minutes long with Q&A at the end, so use that Q&A box if you have any questions. We'll get to as many of them as we can at the end. This session is intended for anyone interested in the event, so might be current young scholar families or people who are not in our program yet. All right, we'll start with a quick poll just to gather who's here this morning. Has your family attended the summit or a summer program in the past? There should be a poll box that just launched on your screen. Curious to see just who's here since this is our brand new event. Have you maybe attended a summit event in the past? Have you maybe your student attended one of our summer camps? Maybe your students hasn't, but they're signed up for the new Davidson Summer Program sessions this summer, or maybe you're not currently a member yet and really curious to see what the retreat has to offer. All right. Looks like a majority, 59% have attended the summit in previous years, so wonderful. You'll have some familiarity with how we kind of flow some things for our events. Just a little bit have had a student who've attended one of our camps in the past. A good chunk, 35%, have had your student is signed up for one of our new sessions for the summer programs this summer. And we do have some here who are not current members yet. So welcome. We're excited to share more about the family retreat. I have one more quick poll. Let's see. My clicker's not going, but I'll have Arlene launch it. There we go. In our next poll, I'm just gathering to see, there we go. For those of you who are here and interested, have you registered yet? I know we have a few who are currently not a member yet, so you're not able to register, so you can select that option. But of those who are here who are current young scholars, have you registered or no, not yet, but you're planning on it, or maybe you're still unsure if you're going to register? We'll gather to see who's here. I know, I recognize some familiar names. Okay. All right, wonderful. Majority, 63%. Unsure if you're going to register yet or not. So this is a great place to be because we're going to provide a lot of great information about this new event. We have one family here who's already registered. Wonderful. Welcome. Excited to see you in July. And quite a few, 21% who've not registered yet but are planning on coming. So great. I'm glad you're here to learn more as well. All right, I'll go ahead and jump in while we have time. So just so you're somewhat aware what to expect and what we're going to go through, I'm going to share more about generally what the family retreat is. Then we'll jump into the tentative overview schedule for the weekend, and um, after I go through that each day and what that looks like, I'll jump into more details on certain aspects of the weekend schedule. So I know that's usually most questions surrounding what we're offering, what activities, what the weekend's going to look like. So we'll spend quite a bit of time there. Then we'll kind of touch base on some FAQs, some attendee information, tips for success, what teens and tween offerings look like. We'll talk more about the dorm accommodations and parking, and how to plan for your trip, safety on campus, and then we'll also touch on what the differences between this event and our flagship summit event are. And if you missed, there was an information session yesterday on the summit event, and we're going to have a recording posted on our website for that here shortly. So I'll still touch base though on kind of the differences there. All right, wonderful. So what is the Family Treat? This is a brand new event, and we're so excited to be launching that this summer. And it's exclusive to families in the Young Scholars Program. It's a family-based event, so families, parents, and students attend together. And it's an engaging weekend. We have it packed with a lot of fun activities, some similar to the summit, but the topics and the focus are much different. In true retreat fashion, we'll be having families stay on site overnight in the dorms. So just like you would maybe sign up for a yoga retreat in the woods, we're here at our Davidson Family Retreat, and we'll be staying on site to kind of allow that time and space to have connection in the dining hall for all your meals. In the dorm floor, there's lounge spaces for with tables and chairs to play games, to connect and talk with other families who are here for the event. There's just a lot more time and space for that at this event, staying on site. We'll have morning mo movement yoga options in the morning. So if you don't want to do family-based yoga, that's totally fine. We'll have that out on the grass in the mornings. Parents and students doing that together, having fun, getting your body moving in the morning. Out on the grass, we recommend bringing a beach towel or a yoga mat for that, but not required. Um, and we'll also have an option to kind of do an intention setting walk with your family to kind of get the day going and start bonding. But you're also welcome to just spend some extra time enjoying your breakfast and getting ready for the day at the dorms. There's going to be lots of space to unplug, learn, reflect, grow, and bond. And it's really focusing on community and family bonding and building, self-discovery, personal and familial growth. So I'll kind of show where all of those pieces come through in the schedule. When and where is it? So it's this summer. It's Thursday, July 20th through Sunday. Oop, that's wrong. That's a typo. I apologize. It's Thursday, July 10th through Sunday, July 13th. Apologize for that. The correct dates are on the website. Thursday, July 10th through Sunday, July 13th. And we host everything on the University of Nevada, Reno campus. That's where our Davidson Academy School is, if you're unfamiliar with that. So we'll be hosting a number of activities out of that building and surrounding buildings. It's right across the street from the dorm accommodations where families will be staying in the dining hall. So everything's kind of close-knit to each other on campus. And who can register? So as I mentioned, it's exclusive to families in the Young Scholars Program, so you must have a current student. Unlike the summit that allows families from all different Davidson programs and alumni in that conference, large conference event, this is exclusive just to families in the Young Scholars Program with current members, so ages 5 to 18, and we do verify that membership status on all registrations we receive. And if you haven't checked it out, which you likely have since you're here today learning more about these events, but just wanted to point out, if you go to our public website, davidsongifted.org, and you go to programs and scholarships, under summer opportunities, there's annual family event section. And down there, you'll scroll. We'll have the Davidson Summit and the Family Retreat on this page, and then you can click in to learn more. And we have a whole new home base for each event. So each event has its own menu page now, now with lots of information about these two events. Even though you must have membership status for both events, we wanted to make sure that information was easily accessible to our families and to those interested in potentially attending who maybe aren't members yet. So you're welcome to dive in there and check out all the information. I highlighted two sections, schedule activities. We'll kind of be looking at that this morning for what's available this summer, but this is where you'll go back to check that out after the webinar if you're wanting to refresh yourself. And then this session descriptions and speakers section is really important. I'm not going to dive into all the different speakers we have coming. We have an opening and closing keynote and workshop speakers, but they're all listed here on the website. Their session description and their biographies are listed there. We have a few more that we're going to be posting this month before we release workshop signups. So dive in there. You'll see who's coming, who's speaking, what topics we have, all listed, easily accessible on our website. Jessica, I believe, sent a link to, or will be sending a link to the website for you to easily access and check out all the things that we're going to be looking at. All right, so just jumping into the overview schedule. What is happening at this new event? How does it differ from the summit? What will families expect? So we have this posted on the website as I just showed you. You can click on that in the Family Retreat menu. It is a work in progress. Generally, this is what we will be offering this summer, but there might be additional events that occur or the times might shift a little bit. Finalized schedule will be given this spring, and we'll be posting it in the information booklet that attendees receive upon check-in, and we usually post a digital version for families right before the event online as well. And you'll see in the schedule as we go through, it's all about making deep connections, having fun, growing your community, getting to know more about each individual family members in your family, and then as well as other families who are here for the retreat. And it's similar to the summit. It is a choose your own adventure type of style. There's going to be lots of different options Friday and through different pockets of the weekend that you'll get to kind of pick which ones you want to go to as a family. This is a much smaller group than the summit. So if you've been to the summit event or you attended my webinar yesterday, we mentioned that's a pretty larger scale event, 900 to 1,000 attendees total, whereas this is aiming to be 300 to 400 people total. So there's going to be less, smaller, closer knit kind of feel, and you'll have a lot of space to meet those who will be joining us. Okay, so how does this look? Thursday, you'll be checking into the event and moving into the residence hall. So that'll all begin at 3 p.m. Of course, after 6 p.m., if your family's travel restrictions have you coming in a little bit later, that's totally fine. Of course, 3 to 6 is our preferred time that families would get checked in and move in and come join us for the welcome social. But if not, families can check in and with the front desk residence hall staff after 6 p.m. You'll just miss our staff, and we'll be back in the morning to give you your packets and things like that to start the event on Friday. But ideally, everything starts Thursday. You're moving in. You're coming to the welcome social. I'll talk a little bit more about what that looks like this year. And then you're heading off to dinner. So the first program provided meal is dinner in the resident dining hall. So you'll check in, you'll get everything in your room ready, and meet some families out on the grass at the social, head to dinner, enjoy your dinner. And then this is a great space where we have attendee plan activities or parent volunteer activities that can occur on or off campus. There will be no Davidson sponsored activities that first evening. Everything will kind of really jump in Friday morning. Then Friday, families, again, tentative times. This is just what we're slating, but they're all subject to shift based on you and our availability. Breakfast will be open from about 7:30 to 9:30, so you're welcome to head down to breakfast and enjoy that with your family in that time frame window. The dining hall is at the bottom of the dormitory that families will be staying in, so it's all in the same building, super easy. You don't have to walk, far across campus to get to the dining hall for your meals. It's all in the same building. Then families can eat their breakfast and head off to the first morning family movement option. So this will be yoga out on the grass or an intention setting walk. And what that would look like is we'd have like a little map for your family to follow along and do a beautiful walk. We have a really beautiful campus with lots of different grassy areas, a pond, beautiful buildings. And so we'll kind of map out a really nice short walk for families to enjoy in the morning to get their blood flowing and get like woken up and get moving for the day with some questions, some fun family questions to ask each other as you're walking and kind of set your intentions for the day of what are our goals, let's be open, let's enjoy and learn and things like that. Of course, those are optional, so you're welcome to stay back at the dorms and enjoy breakfast and get ready for the day as needed. So we will offer late check-in this morning, starting at 9 a.m. and throughout the day. However, it is highly preferred that you're here and checked in Thursday night so that you're not missing out on the number of activities, which is really a big, the meat of the weekend and of the event really start on Friday. So from 9 to 11:30, we'll have various options on an on-campus social activity. I'll talk more about what that looks like. We'll have, similar to the summit, we'll have a game room and arts and craft room that are open for families to go with their students to enjoy and meet one another. And then we'll also have like a family icebreakers option and regional based mixers. Then we'll have a lunch break. All families can head back to the dining hall from across the street from the Davidson Academy building and have lunch. In the afternoon, before our opening keynote, we'll have a couple different options as well. The on-campus social activity will continue. Families can continue working through that. We'll switch gears from icebreakers to team building activities. And those who want to participate in the mock rock on Saturday night, which I'll talk more about soon too, they can do some rehearsal time here. But more importantly, within this time slot, it won't be a full hour and a half, but within this slot before the keynote, we'll have a family values presentation. So families can go together as a family and attend this presentation and workshop where they'll get to, more details will be released on exactly what will be held in this session, but ideally you'd be learning more about what you hold and value as a family, maybe goals you have for the weekend, getting to know more about what you're going to focus on as a family for the weekend, kind of set the tone for the weekend. And then we'll kick off really exciting opening keynote address. You can learn more about that on our website. Then families can head off to dinner break in the dining hall. And then if you're feeling really exhausted and taxed for the day, you're welcome to just relax as a family back at the dorms, whatever it might be. But we'll have some optional off-campus activities for families. So there'll be an option to walk as a group together to the Art Town events in Midtown, downtown Reno, which are free events we do in July. They're really cool. They're down by the river. There'll be live music, different vendors, lots of cool things to see that you can head down to as a family, or we'll also have potentially an option for bowling with themed cosplay. So more details to come on that. Then Saturday, we'll move into our first day for workshops. So families, same as Friday, we'll wake up and have breakfast. Then we'll have our optional morning family movement again with yoga or an intention setting walk. And then we'll jump into workshops. So there's only 2 workshop time slots at the family retreat, and they both occur on Saturday, one before lunch and one after lunch. For the family retreat, I'll talk more about non-member siblings, but they are included in youth workshops for this close-knit experience. So only students who are under 5 years old, so ages 0 to 4, will need to be dropped off at our professional childcare services that we're going to be offering. If they're not going to be going into the professional childcare, then parents will need to supervise them outside of parent workshops. They're not permitted in youth or parent workshops. So something to think about if you're coming and you're the only parent there and you have a younger kiddo with you, ideally that they would be in the childcare, and we're offering that so that you can access those workshops. So similar to the summit, we'll have a 90-minute workshop. These times are all tentative. Parent workshops are 60 minutes, so they have time to get their kids to and from their workshops. We'll take a break for lunch at the dining hall and then head back to our second workshop in the afternoon. And then after that, we'll have a good chunk of time, 3 to 5. Families can take a break at the dorms. They can just mix and mingle in the game room and arts and craft room. We'll have some space available in the Davidson Academy to just, yeah, continue to mix and mingle as a family. If you're participating in the mock rock rehearsal that night, we highly recommend spending that part of that time from 3 to 5 rehearsing, and then we'll head off to a dinner break before we go into our large family mock rock fun event. And I'll talk more about what this is going to look like. But similar to the summit having a talent show, this is our much more casual version of a family mock rock to get up and just be silly and have fun. And we're hoping to have the whole event wide come and watch or participate. Then on Sunday, we'll close out the weekend with breakfast and optional morning family movement again in the morning before we head off to our new first annual signature family vision board reflection activity. So after you've spent a lot of time Friday bonding as a family and with other families, you've done your family values workshop, you've listened to the opening keynote, you've gone to your workshops, you've had fun Friday evening and Saturday evening at the social activities. You're then going to spend some time as a family building a vision board and reflecting on what you learned about one another and yourselves. Maybe you're going to visually represent some goals you have as a family moving into the fall or the next year. We'll have some instructions and prompts to work through those, and every family will go home with an actual physical little vision board to reflect on their weekend and set some goals. We'll take a lunch break before we head off into the closing keynote address, which will really just focus on reflecting on the weekend and setting the tone moving away from the event and how you can take what you learned with you. And then families can have the option of checking out that evening or by the next morning at the latest would be 9 a.m. In order to abide by you and our rules. So we'll have optional parent volunteer activities this evening too, similar to the summit, attendee plan type of activities. You know, families want to all gather at Wild Island or Coconut Bowl or have an off-campus dinner somewhere, head out to the park for games, whatever it might be. Volunteers are welcome to plan and host activities that afternoon and or evening as well. All right, so I wanted to pinpoint and share a little more details about a few key items in the schedule. So the first being the welcome social. Similar to what we're hosting for the summit, we'll have a welcome social for this event as well. On campus, you'll park and or arrive at the dormitories, and right in front of there we have this beautiful open grassy area and space, and we'll have our welcome social right there as you arrive. You can go check into your room, drop off your bags and come back down. We'll have some different icebreakers and meetup sections within the area to begin connecting with other families and saying hello and seeing who's here. We'll have an ice cream social type of truck. Likely shave ice, which will have sugar and dye-free options too. We'll have a teen meetup area too for those families who are attending who are wanting to really have their teen connect with others. And each attendee will get a dessert ticket that they can then take to the ice cream or shave ice truck and enjoy a little treat on us. Once you've gotten to mingle with some families, you'll head off to dinner at the dining hall and or can head off to any attendee plan activities that are occurring that first evening. So you'll be able to just come celebrate as we kick off our first ever family retreat. We're really excited to have this for this summer. All right, so you might be wondering, well, we went through Saturday, there's two workshops, but kind of really, how is that going to look? What is that? How do I reserve that? I didn't see it in my registration form. Well, so that's because it hasn't been released yet. So similar to the summit, this for this new event, we're also going to have workshop registration in parents' hands. So we already have a number of the workshops up on the website, so you can read the descriptions and bios, but we still have a few more to post. And then once those are all ready, we'll be releasing later this month workshop signups. It'll first go to those who are already registered, so they can get their spots reserved in workshops, and then from there, it'll be linked in confirmation. So if you haven't registered yet or you're planning on registered and registering and it's already workshops that have been released, once our team verifies your membership status, you'll receive a confirmation email from um, our team, and in there we'll have the link to register for your workshops for your youth. And this, again, is only for students who are ages 5 through 18, whether they're current young scholars or just siblings, they can attend workshops. If they're in that 0 to 4 age range, they'll need to go into our childcare or remain outside with a parent. And so you'll reserve. They're all capacity based, first come, first serve, but there'll be plenty of spaces and seats for the number of families we're anticipating. You'll go in there and you'll select what workshop you want in the first time slot for your student, and then second time slot, and then you'll receive an email from our event software with your ticket details showing what your youth registered for. We'll contact you if there's any errors, i.e., you signed up for more than one workshop in each time slot, which is not available. You can only select one per child. And then what we'll do is weekend of, you'll have our information booklet, which will tell you what buildings and what rooms each workshop's in. So you'll know where to go to drop your student off before you head off to parent presentations. And so that's kind of how the workshop's going to go. What do workshops look like? They're all hands-on and engaging sessions with various topics focusing on that self-discovery, personal familial kind of growth topics. They're fun. They're going to be a lot of play-based, fun, engaging things. Some will be building, some will be taking home tips and tools that they can utilize and communicating with their family members and others. So there's going to be a lot of wonderful information provided to directly to our youth at this event. Just a note, if you do pick your workshops and you decide later on, oh, we've changed our mind, we want to change up what our students going to, just know because it's a first come, first serve basis, once you contact us to cancel your initial registration, it'll open those seats back up to family members registering, and so make sure you go in there and see what's still available before you're canceling and changing your workshops. Okay, Friday events. I mentioned a bunch of icebreakers, team builders, that this was really the meat of building your community and bonding, and kind of just wanted to share a little bit more about our vision and what this is going to look like this summer, and how it might differ a little bit from the summit. So in the morning, we'll have family icebreakers and regional-based mixers. So this will really just be lots of spaces with prompts and different activities to meet other people, kind of start connecting. Maybe, you really are interested in meeting other families from your region of the United States, but you're not able to attend the summit event and you're just coming to the retreat. So we'll have that option at both events this summer, which is really exciting. But this will be very interest-based icebreakers. We'll have maybe some age-based icebreakers for students who are, on the younger side versus teen tween side. We'll have lots of space and prompts and activities. It'll be fun. It won't be, you know, too quaint and round table where you're feeling a little bit maybe vulnerable or nervous. It'll be energizing space and activities for families to feel comfortable getting to know one another. In the afternoon, we will pause just the icebreaker and mixer type of, and we'll, activities, and we'll move more into family team building. So, the retreat, you're coming here, it's almost like a family-based kind of camp, right? And so, you're also bonding with you and your family, different than the summit where the schedule's pretty jam-packed and it's more conference style, networking, exhibitors, workshops, keynotes, it's busy and it's a little bit harder to kind of make some deeper connections when there's, a lot of go, go, go and a lot of people. So this is a little bit more of a closer knit experience where hopefully you can put your phone aways in your bags and off to the side and really just spend time as a family, bonding and unplugging and just being present with one another. So we'll have some really fun team builders, and there'll be some space and time to just laugh as a family. Most of it will be what you do just with your immediate family, but then there'll be space and time to connect with other families in the area as well. In the morning, the and afternoon, the campus-wide photo scavenger hunt option is our social activity. So you can team up with other families that you might know already, or that you met at the welcome social, or you can just go ahead and do that with your own family. But there'll be different riddles and clues and codes that you need to decode to find different campus locations around. So we'll get you out in the beautiful sunshine here in Reno, exploring the campus, having fun, kind of using your brain to kind of solve some riddles, and you'll snap a picture on your phone at each spot, and we'll have a way for you to submit your completion. And we'll kind of have point system to kind of make it more competitive and fun, and see who can complete um, all the different codes. So it'll be a great way to team up with another family and get moving and working together around campus. As I mentioned, we also have two brief options for some off-campus social activities in the evening, walking together to Reno Art Town events downtown. I'll kind of share more what that looks like leading up to the event, but we're hoping for some parent-led volunteers to just help gather. We'll provide a place for families to gather down at the bottom of the dorm hall, and what you'll do after dinner is you'll just head. We'll have the volunteers help guide families where to walk to head to the Reno Art Town event. And then once you get down there, you'll just be among other Davidson families that choose to go on this walk. It's a quick 25-minute walk from the residence hall, non-sponsor activity. You'll be able to enjoy the live music. There's vendors. Your family can choose to kind of mix and mingle with other families and enjoy beautiful artwork as well. We'll also have the option to do, this is what we're hoping, we haven't finalized it yet, but bowling with themed cosplay. So there is a national bowling stadium in downtown, which is a little bit shorter of a walk from campus, closer to 15-20 minutes. We'll be providing like one round of bowling for each family, and it'll be a space for families to just connect, get some moving, do some fun time. Refreshments are not sponsored, but we'll be able to help provide bowling. So it's just getting together, in the dorms, walking and having fun at the bowling stadium together, and then heading back for the evening. Okay, and then what is a family mock rock and what is all this talk about? So this is something that I'm really excited for to be hopefully a signature type of event that we have at the retreat each year. It's very casual, very silly. If your student has attended Davidson Reach in the past few years, they can tell you more about what this looks like, because this is something we have had at our our Reach camp in the past couple years that we've had it. And so it's a really fun time. Think of it as like a lip sync battle type of thing. So what we'll do is we'll have families. We highly encourage you to sync up with another family or two. Um, so there's a group of you up on stage. And what we'll do is you'll submit kind of what you're doing to our staff and if you need any music to play. And then you can do a funny lip sync skit. You can reenact your family's favorite scene from a comedy or a show. Maybe you have really creative kids who are talented in this type of theater in a way. They maybe want to curate their own skit and perform that. And so it can just be the kids, but ideally it would be the kids and parents doing this together. So if there's somebody who would have loved to do the talent show, or maybe that's um, too like fancy or what's the right word just makes them nervous getting up on stage in a more of a fancy setting at the summit. This is going to be much more casual. We'll be just laughing, having fun, being silly. If you already have an idea of what you'd like to do, you can bring props for your skit or for your lip sync battle as well. And I have some pictures here. Most of them are from our mock rock at Reach the past few summers. But ideally, you're just being silly. You're having fun. Hopefully, it would be a really unforgettable and memorable like event for your family, and especially for those who of all age ranges, but really those teen tween families to get to giggle and bond and do something silly that they can look back in years later and say like, oh, how fun was that when we performed at the family retreat in the summer. So we'll have details for how to participate, more things like that for those who are registered in our retreat rundown email newsletters as we get closer to the event. And then, of course, we'll have further instructions provided when you check into the event. But we're really excited about that. We encourage everybody to sync up with another family or just do it on their own as your own family to participate, because the more that participate and have fun and be silly, the more we're going to get out of this experience. So we'll have the whole family retreat there to enjoy and just bond over a new way. Okay, non-member siblings. How does this look at the family retreat? Well, at this event, any non-member siblings who are not currently young scholars can attend the event fully, especially when they're in the ages 5 to 18. So they can go to all events, including youth workshops. So they can reserve their spaces in those in those workshops as well. But if they're on the younger side, is 0 to 4. They can be with their family at all activities throughout all the weekend. The only space where they are not permitted is youth or parent workshops. And due to that, we are hiring professional childcare. So there's a professional nanny childcare service we're gonna hire, and they'll have space in the same building where workshops will be, or a nearby building, and you'll sign your kiddo in and out just for that hour and a half time slot twice on Saturday. So that's the only time when non-member siblings in the 0 to 4 age range must be in our childcare. If have a really little one and you're not sure about childcare, then we highly recommend for those with the two-parent household to both attend so that you can trade off watching that kiddo during workshops so that you don't miss out on the parent workshops. Parent workshops this year are much more, at the family retreat, are much more workshopy. So less just presentation lecture style. We're going to get like discussion based, lots of Q&A time, building skills, and learning a lot of wonderful parenting topics when it comes to raising a profoundly gifted child, and more about themselves as a parent as well. So that's kind of where that goes. For non-member siblings, if you need any clarifications, please email us and we're happy to share more. Attendee plan activities. So similar to the summit, we'll have attendee plan activities at the family retreat. So we're providing a plethora of activities, but if you're seeing the Thursday night after the welcome social or Friday evening during what we're having volunteers help us plan, if you're wanting additional options, even on Saturday or Sunday after the closing keynote, there's a lot of time and space for families to also just curate some more time to connect with other families. And so that could be maybe taking a break from the dining hall and meeting somewhere else for lunch or dinner, heading off to the planetarium, to Coconut Bowl or Wild Island Water Park, maybe going to a park, or finding a space to just have a specific your kiddo's really into coding and you want to get like a coding attendee plan activity going where your student can just talk with other students who are interested. Those are available for planning. We help advertise those, so we'll post them in the Davidson member community once you've submitted a form telling us all the details about the event that you're planning and volunteering to host. And then we also put those in the information booklet for families to see. And you can ask for RSVPs or just provide the time and space for families to head off to connect. There's lots of ways to kind of go about volunteering to host an APA. So if you have any questions, please email us and we're happy um, to address those. And it's just really a great way to give back more to your community and help provide even further space for your student to connect with others. Okay, some general questions. Are there any off-site activities at the family retreat event? Yes. So Friday evening, there's the two options: bowling with themed cosplay, where families you can drive too, but um, a lot of families I can foresee will be flying and Ubering in onto campus because all activities otherwise are hosted on campus and you wouldn't need a car. But if you do have a car, you can drive. Otherwise, get the body moving again and you can walk down to the National Bowling Stadium and we'll have one round of bowling included in your registration. If that's not of interest to your family, there'll also be an option to walk as a group to the Reno Art Town events, listen to some live music, hang out by the river and see some fun downtown vendors and things like that. And of course, if there's any attendee plan activities that are off campus, we'll be sharing more once those are submitted. What are dining options? How does that work at the retreat? So, as I just mentioned, that all meals starting with Thursday dinner will be provided in the resident dining hall on campus. So all families will just walk or take the elevator down to the bottom floor of the dorm that we're staying in, and it's a really big. It's the large scale dining hall that was recently renovated that all students on campus during the school year eat at that are staying in the dorms. So it's got lots of options. When we have a large audience base like this attending, then almost all the stations will be open, including allergy friendly stations, dietary restrictions. They're typically really great at accommodating anybody's concerns or needs for that. But if your family doesn't want, wants to check out a nearby restaurant or whatever that might be, there are restaurants and dining options within walking distance, and of course, options that you can drive to as well. And do we recommend you rent a car? So honestly, this is at your discretion. Families who are driving here you obviously already have your car and will be providing parking, and you can get to the attendee plan activities or offsite activities easier. Or if you need something at the store or Walgreens, you'll be able to kind of get to those things a little bit easier. But this event is very doable to fly in, Uber to campus. It's 10 to 12 minutes from the airport and just be on campus for the weekend without a car because everything, again, is right near the dorms on campus, besides some of those optional things that families can walk to. So totally your preference. If you have any questions, please let me know. We have Uber and Lyft here and taxis. And so very accessible to get around if you're not going to have your own car or rent a car. Okay, so teen tween offerings. Similar to Summit, this will be choose your own adventure style. We have lots of options available all day and evening, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. However, since we're a little bit smaller scale, they'll be more close-knit and lots of time and space to really build deeper friendships and connections. Naturally, just staying in the dorms provides lots of space, eating in the dining hall, and there's lots of lounge space on the dorm floors for families to play board games, hang out, get to know one another, and things like that. So, um, we kind of have some details here. I already mentioned we'll have the ice cream social, APAs options. A lot of those activities Friday for the icebreakers and team buildings, regional based mixtures, photo scavenger hunt are activities that have been tried and true working with our teens and tweens at summer camp in the past years. And so we're kind of gearing a lot of those to really hopefully draw in more teen tween families to this event and provide a space for them to really get to know other teens at this event. So the Saturday mock rock is also a really big teen tween type of activity, but I doesn't mean that families with younger kiddos can't participate and won't enjoy as well. We just foresee those being exciting for this population. And then same thing with the workshops on Saturday and the like I just mentioned the mock rock. Our topics for the workshops will be really geared towards anybody in that 5 to 18 age range, but we will designate youth or teen tweens so that we can provide workshop space for those students to connect with peers that are similar in age. So those who are in the younger age range will be selecting from only what's available that's designated youth in the morning and afternoon, and then same thing for teen tween. So we'll have that kind of differentiated. The topics are really engaging and differentiated a little bit more at the family retreat as well. And then the vision board activity can be a really great way for your family to bond and connect before your students heading off and applying for colleges and things like that. It's just a really good space to get to know who your student is as a teen tween and have a really wonderful, hopefully, space to communicate about those things. And of course, like I mentioned, if you volunteer to host any APAs for teen tween type of events outside of what we're offering, that's another great way to get your student connected. Okay, tips for success. So similar to the summit, the family retreat, there'll be lots of other students here, and you're going to want to have a way to share contact information and stay connected. So keeping a way to, you'll have a lot more time and space for that, all staying in the dorms and eating in the dining hall together, but it can be helpful to have a digital QR code or some sort of business card with your students' information on there. You're welcome to use an avatar, emoji. Doesn't have to have their picture and full name. If you don't want to provide all of that information on there, you can put a nickname and a way to connect on there. We do recommend having a plan for how to keep all of those when a way to distribute it, but also a way to receive. So if you need a Ziploc bag labeled with your student's name, a notepad, a way to kind of keep all of this information. Please label it. There's lots of people that will be at this event, and so we'll have a lost and found if it does get found. But if you're just using in the information booklet or notebook that we provide, they tend to all look the same, right? Because they're the ones we provide, and so they get tend to get lost much easier. So if you have your own Ziploc labeled with a name, that can be helpful so we can get it back to you if you lose it. Um, a great thing to keep in mind is just to talk with your students and as a family before you arrive to the event and just set expectations for what the weekend might look like. That it's okay if connecting with other families takes a little bit of time. It can be hard for students who are so excited and if they walk away from that first welcome social being like frustrated, they might not have already made a friend. Talking through and setting expectations beforehand that it might take time. It might take a number of activities before they're finding some peers, and that's okay. That's normal. Normalizing some of that is really helpful. It can be unnerving and overwhelming and thrilling meeting new students and kind of just reiterating that even within this community of young scholars, everyone is wonderfully unique and everyone has varied interests, abilities, strengths, weaknesses, challenges, talents, all of that. So, kind of talking through what that could look like, and then how parents can support students and where students can expect to receive support from their parent when they're feeling overwhelmed. What's your family's plan for breaks for your student? Are you going to have them carry a book with them? Are you going to offer to head back to the dorms if they need a quiet break? We'll have some spaces for some quiet spaces in the Davidson Academy building, but is will that work for your student? Do they need other support? That might look like. Having a conversation beforehand is wonderful. And then making a plan to stay connected with families as you're leaving the retreat is really important too. So you've got your Ziploc or your notepad with a bunch of new parents and students contact information. You've made connections. You're feeling not so isolated and like you have a new community. But it's hard to leave. So one way to stay successful in keeping that community and staying connected is having a plan in place already. So get out your phone and say, hey, can we just put on the calendar a time for our kiddos to jump on a Zoom or on a live game together if they're interested in a similar online game. Maybe it's, even if it has to be moved and rescheduled, at least you've got something on that calendar that you can connect about. Set a reminder in your calendar to start a weekly pen pal email chain with the student. Help them practice a little bit of their writing skills. Getting that scheduled can really ensure that you'll keep the door open to staying connected. Okay, parking. What does it look like at this event? So there's a large parking structure right next to the dormitory. So it's really nice and close. You'll park in that. It's called the Sierra Street Parking Garage. We'll provide that in to registered attendees with a map leading up to the event as well. But you'll receive your parking pass upon arriving to the garage Thursday during check-in. And if you're arriving late Thursday or Friday, parking passes will be handed out by the front desk, likely of Argenta Hall when you check into your dorm room. If that changes, we'll let attendees know, but that's kind of how the flow will work. And if you do require ADA parking or access, please email us and we can get you all set up for that. And then where will you be staying? This is a large part of the event that we keep talking about, that all families get to stay in the dorms. And what does that look like? So, we're likely going to be in Argenta Hall this summer. So, if your student has attended Stars, Reach, or Think in the past, they may have stayed in this hall. It was just renovated a couple years ago, and it's a beautiful dorm hall. It is air conditioned, and it's triple occupancy per room. So if you have just two kiddos, and at one parent going, you'll fill up a room. Maybe there's just one parent and one student. You will not have a guest from another family in your room with you. Your rooms will be private to your own family. If you have more than three in your family, you'll take over an additional room or two as needed. That'll the picture in the middle here kind of shows you the space setup. You'll have three beds. There's a little closet area, desks for each bed, and then there's a bathroom that has the sink and a countertop, and then behind the door is your own private shower and toilet as well. So you'll be staying in the dorms. It is a little bit bare bones, so it's not a hotel experience. There's not coffee makers in each room. There's not, water cups in each room. You'll want to make sure you're bringing your water bottles, your toiletries. We will be providing linen packets to each family, so you don't have to pack bedding. There'll be sheets, blankets, pillowcase, towel, and washcloth in those linen packets. Of course, if you have a favorite favorite blanket or different things you'd want for your linen, you can totally pack additional, but everyone will be provided a linen packet regardless. Each room has window coverings on the window, and you can adjust the temperature in your room too. There is a laundry facility on, I think the second or third floor, and it's free. We're working out on how potentially we'll be able to provide detergent, or if families will need to purchase that nearby. There is a Walgreens and a gas station, but more details to come. Guest Wi-Fi will be provided to families staying in the dorm as well. And there's lounges on each floor. This is only one little snippet down here at the bottom, but they're beautiful lounges. There's a couple private rooms on each lounge that are smaller, so you can have some quiet space to just mix and mingle with a few people. There's a general open space with tables, chairs, and couches, and then there's also another large behind a door lounge area that has even more tables and chairs. So lots of space to connect on the dorm floors with families. Um, and there is a staffed front desk. So if you need toilet paper or things like that, you have an issue with your room, you can head down to the front desk and let the Argenta Hall staff know. And what to pack for this event. So it is hot and sunny in Reno in the summer, typically about 80 to 100 degrees during the day, especially in July. And it cools down quite a bit in the evenings, can be anywhere from 50 to 70 degrees at night. Please pack your water bottle and your sunscreen. You will be outside for walking around from various buildings and for activities. However, it is a university campus, and like most the university buildings and campuses, it is very air conditioned in the buildings that we'll be in. So bring a light jacket for when you're inside if you are one that tends to need that. It is high elevation, dry desert climate, so you must pack lotion and chapstick. We'll be doing lots of walking on campus and to social activities, so have comfy shoes, hat, sunglasses. Bring your favorite board games to connect with other families in the dorms. We'll have that game room in the academy building for parts of the weekend, but that'll be closing each day. And so if you want to play games with other families in the dorms or during other times, please bring those along with your business card, contact information. Dorms, you'll want toiletries, additional linens if you choose, non-perishable snacks. There likely will be a microwave in the lounge area, pending, we're confirming that still, but do bring non-perishable snacks. There's not a late night snack bar to purchase snacks at, so bring those for your room. Water bottles, it's not a hotel, so there's not hotel cups. And then a plan for your morning coffee. There's a coffee shop right across the street, and of course, the dining hall will be open and they have coffee for breakfast, I think throughout the day too. But if you're somebody who wants to make sure you have something right away, make sure you're getting outside to that coffee shop across the street, or having something ready for you in your room in the morning. And then if you're going to participate in the morning movement yoga, bring a beach towel or yoga mat. Of course, it's not required, but we'll be on the grass. And so just a beach towel would work if you can bring one of your own for that. And don't forget to pack a notebook and a smile. We're here to learn, connect, and the more you are enthusiastic and put into it, the better fun you'll have. Okay, just have a couple more notes and then we'll get to questions. Registration is open. Standard registration is open through April 30th. Late registration begins May 1st and will be open for one more month until May 30th, but fees increase by $25 per person. So I have the fee table here. You can see youth ages 5 to 18, whether they're a young scholar or a non-member, are $4.95 per student. Parents, same thing, $4.95. And then if they're in that 0 to 4 age range, we do have to count them in for a number of fee-related things from the university varsity, so they are $375. Those increased by $25 May 1st. It is a first come, first serve event, so there are limited spacing available, unlike the summit that's just open for everybody, as many to come. So the sooner you get registered, the sooner you secure your spot. We do have a cancellation and refund timeline. So any requests that come in through the end of the month, we're refunding 80% of fees, and then after that through April 30th, 60% of fees. After April 30th, once we move into late registration, they may not be eligible for refund. So the final deadline is May 30th. Of course, registering sooner versus later avoids additional fees and secures your space. And DMC. So if you're a current Young Scholar family, you have access to the Davidson member community, and this is where you'll find the direct registration link. We do not post that on our public website where you find the rest of the event information so that we can ensure we are keeping this private to the Young Scholar family. So if you're going through the Young Scholar application process, once you receive your decision notification with your acceptance, you'll receive access to DMC and be able to register for the retreat. And we ask those families, just be patient and wait to register until then. In there, you'll also, though, find where we'll post the attendee plan activities as those form submissions come in. We'll have discussion forums for families to mix and mingle and meet before attending the event. And then we'll have copies of the information booklet and newsletters that we're sending out prior to. We're also hoping to host a few Zoom connection social hours, kind of pod meetup groups for students leading up to the event that our wonderful speakers will be hosting. So more details for that to come, but we're a goal for the retreat is to have deeper building and bonding of a community. And so one of the spaces and ways we're doing that through this fun, unique event is providing a Zoom not webinars, but there'll be Zoom meetings so students can see each other, hear each other, and start connecting and seeing who they're going to see at the event prior to July. Okay, one quick note, safety on campus is very important. So you must be escorting your children around campus. They cannot be alone. That is a UNR policy that minors under the age of 18 are not alone on campus. And so we do have a UNR police department on campus, but please do not leave your kiddos in your dorm rooms by themselves unsupervised while you head down to the gas station or Walgreens to grab supplies or food or whatever it might be. That is not permitted. It is an open public campus. It's very busy during the summer, so all students need to be supervised. You're welcome to tag team with other families, other parents to supervise each other's kid to run errands as needed, but they must be with an adult at all times. Our staff will have your contact information if needed, and so just make sure that you answer your phone from an area code that you're not familiar with. Even if it ends up being spam, it's better to answer in case it is us if we're needing to reach you. We will have designated Davidson shirts so you can identify staff and you'll know where to find us prior to the event as well. Okay, really quick, I know it's 11. I just wanted to touch really quickly about summit and retreat differences so you can navigate which event you'd like to attend this summer. We have families coming to both, already registered to both, and we're so excited about that because while there's some overlap, they are different experiences. So both events have connection. They are based in our mission. They provide meaningful learning. They're whole family based, meaning parents and students attend. They're private to our Davidson community. They have an engaging schedule. However, the summit is a much bigger event with about 900 or so attendees. Family retreat is going to be about 300 to 400 attendees, so a little bit more of a closer knit experience. Summit families stay in the Reno area at different hotels or Airbnbs, whereas the family retreat stay in the residence hall on site overnight. In true retreat fashion, the schedule has morning movement options, closer knit workshops, a lot of family-based bonding and building activities, whereas the summit is much more of a conference style. So there's an exhibit hall, panel presentations, mixers, a lot of information about Davidson programs. So the ambassadors do a presentation, alumni are there, there's alumni networking, we'll have presentations on the Davidson Academy, much more conference style experience. We have our signature beautiful talent show at the summit, whereas at the family retreat, we're going to laugh and get a little bit more silly and have a casual mock rock, in addition to that vision board reflection activity on Sunday that your family gets to go home with. And then the themes are different. So summit themes, we're celebrating potential and achievements of our community. We're inspiring talent development, interest exploration, networking, connection opportunities, whereas the family retreat is much more self-discovery focused. Nurturing your intellects and strengths, personal and familial growth and communication, deep and family and community bonding opportunities. Okay, now that I've talked your ear off, I apologize we've gone over a little bit, but I'll jump into the Q&A box and see what we have in there before we close. If I don't get to your question or you need to go, feel free to email retreat@davidsongifted.org and we'll get to your question. How are the parent workshops different from parent workshops at the summit? Are the themes similar? No, so they're already all posted on the website. So if you go into annual family events for the summit and then the retreat, there's session description and speaker bios for each event, and you can see that they follow the theme. So our theme for the family retreat is vision and voice, seeing clearly, speaking authentically. So it's all about getting to know yourself better, your family members better, your community better. So the parent workshops at the retreat are focused around that. And they're going to be a lot smaller and close-knit workshops. So instead of having 100 plus parents in a presentation at the summit, it'll be 50 to 60 to 70 parents, and it'll be a lot more skill building, discussion, Q&A based versus just presentation style. Are the workshops the only thing siblings are not allowed at? Can non-DYS 5 plus able to attend all their functions? Yes. We do not differentiate non-member siblings at the retreat other than those in the 0 to 4 age range who need to not be in workshops. Non-DYS who are ages 5 to 18 and a part of your family will come and attend just alongside the same experience as their current young scholar siblings. So they can attend the mock rock, they can participate in the mock rock, they can everything. Everything is the same for ages 5 to 18, whether they're non-young scholar or a young scholar sibling. Can you tell me more about the childcare option? Will there be a window where parents can peek in? Are they aware of neurodiversity? That's great. We are going to be providing them information on the neurodiverse group of children that they'll be watching. We don't have the space designated just yet, so I'm not sure if there'll be a window per se. It'll likely be a couple classrooms in the building that we're in for these, and a lot of those classroom, the door for the classroom has a window in it, so I would assume you could peek in there. But what we'll be doing is we'll have your phone number, of course, but when you sign them in, this is just for the ages 0 to 4. You'll put your phone number and all of, they'll ask you about allergies, phone number. They're not going to be feeding these kiddos unless you have like diaper bag snacks, things like that. We're going to kind of put some rules in place for that. But they're going to gather all that information so that they know they're going to have your phone number, and we'll have a staff member nearby right there in the building too, and they'll be calling parents if there's any concern. So you just want to make sure you keep your phone on them. And it's professional childcare, so we're paying a great deal for them to come in, and they're professional nannies for this. And it'll just be a big classroom or two, depending on how many we have. That will be checked in. But please email me if that didn't address all of your questions, and we can and I can answer more. Okay, I'll just answer a couple more and then we'll close out since we're getting over time. Let's see. For DYS classes, how valued is the ability to stay still in a chair during class? That's a great question. They're not so much classes, they're workshops, and they're fun and engaging. And so some of the workshops, they're not even going to be sitting in chairs. They might be up doing group-based things together, building things. And so it's not that important. And all of our presenters are either work regularly and are professionals and experts in the field of profoundly gifted, or they'll are work with children regularly as is. And so not super important. You know, if your student it is a part of the workshop where they need to be sitting down listening, we can have them hang out in the back and kind of move around if that's something that's helpful for them. Please email me if you're concerned about accommodations in workshops that your student might need, and we can talk further specifics. But again, it's not a class for credit. It's not. It's going to be more laid back, engaging type of workshop. Will the retreat and event workshops be held at the same area buildings as the 2024 summit? That's a great question. So no, the dorm, Argenta Hall is right across the street from the Davidson Academy building, which we were not in at all for the 2024 summit. Majority of the events Friday will be held out of the Davidson Academy building, which is right across the street again from the dorms. We were not in there for the 2024 summit. And then we'll be in two completely different buildings that are right kitty corner next to the Davidson Academy on that south end of the campus by the dorm for workshops and keynotes and things like that. Again, it's all subject to change. We're working with UNR right now to schedule those spaces, and they have summer classes and lots of other events that occur. So we're at mercy of where they'll put us, but it'll likely be different buildings and it'll be closer to the dorm and Davidson Academy. But great question. What are the age of the majority of the kids that attend? Is it balanced? Yes. We have just opened registration a few weeks ago. So and this is a brand new event, so we're not sure exactly where we'll end up for this one. But just like the summit, we have kids from all age ranges who attend and are already planning on attending. So I don't really have an answer to see where the majority will be, and I'll know that more closer to. But so far, the registrations that have come in, it is balanced. So we're looking forward to seeing who else is going to join us this summer. And if you'd like to wait and find out more of what that's looking like in the next few weeks as more registrations come in, before you decide, you can shoot us an email and I can let us know where we're at with that later on. So wonderful. Okay, I apologize. I went 10 minutes over. Thank you so much for joining me. We're really excited to launch this brand new event. We heard from families that have attended at the summit or are new to Davidson that they wanted a space to build deep community with other families, learn on a deeper, more self-discovery level, and have fun as a family. And so this event is all about that, bonding with your own family, with others, building your community, learning more about yourself. And it's going to be a whole new feel compared to the summit. So we're really excited. We hope you'll join us. Email us, retreat@davidsongifted.org if you don't have any questions, or if you have further questions, excuse me, and we'll get back to you. All right, I'll pass it back to Arlene to close us out. Thank you all.
Awesome. Thank you, Kayla, for sharing this information about the Davidson Family Retreat and addressing questions from our audience. And thank you, everyone, for joining us. Please remember to complete our survey after this session closes. If you would like to view this session again, the recording will be posted on the Davidson Member Community website under our expert video library and also on our public website, davidsongifted.org, within the following week. Have a great rest of your day, everyone, and we hope to see you this summer. Bye.